No, Pika, you don't get a day off. Well, you're a stuffed animal. I mean, please. Next thing you know, you three are going to start unionizing? I don't think so. Hey, welcome back once again. It's time for the comics coffee table. Pull up a chair. Grab a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose. Today, there, pal. Tough guy, sizzle chest, chowder head. Snap ahead, chowder neck, however it is you identify. Ah, hello. And we're going to take a coffee break together. Today I'm having some tea. And this is good for you, you know? Sometimes I have hot cocoa as well. And then sometimes I'm on my last cup of coffee and I put some hot cocoa in it and a little bit more hot water. And then I have a mocha. Sometimes you feel like a mocha. Sometimes you feel like tea. And this is just an herbal tea. Sometimes I do tea like, well, this is my grandma's teapot. And you're never too old to miss your grandparents. And so that's my grandma's teapot. And that's a picture of my grandpa. We're the O'Sullivans. Hi! And welcome to our comics coffee table. They were from Ireland. So we also do tea. You can bring to the coffee table. It needs to be just like this. No substitutions. Use a coaster. Don't think of putting your feet on the coffee table. Thank you. Yes, we use coasters here. But it's like Salada tea or like Tetley tea or black tea or Barry's, English breakfast tea or whatnot. I like Salada. And served with whole milk. It's got to be whole milk. None of this skim stuff. None of this soy stuff. No, thank you. Just traditional kind of Irish, English tea. I wonder if the Scots do tea like that. Because then Grandma had these great cookies. I found them out of Canada. They're called Peak Freens, fruit creams. And they had a jelly center and a butter cookie and a white, frosting cream filling. And should we get 2 boxes? Because I would inhale one as soon as she got home from the supermarket. Yep. I knew where to look. But those were her cookies. Her biscuits. Biscuits, yeah. Cookies are biscuits in the UK, I heard. How are you doing out there today? What culture do you... We have so many cultures out there right now. We, how do people take tea with your people? Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comment section. I like to know tea. Coffee is one thing, but tea seems to be a bit more global and a bit more universal of human experience. That's a good question. I like that. Tell me about your family's tea. Tell me about tell me about the waters on your homeworld, Usul. Oh. We always have books on our coffee table. Isn't that cute? And thank you so much for tuning in again. We have a wonderful show planned for you today, starring the copious amounts of show notes from our executive producer, a Pikachu. I get shocking advice. Oh, I think I've used that pun way too many times with you. Yeah, no more electric puns. All right. So we have to give that a recharge. All right, I'll stop. Thank you very much. This battery's got a memory. Oh, high voltage humor everywhere. Just press the button. All right. Thank you so very much. Okay. We are reboxing, reboarding, rebagging my entire comic book collection. And it's a great excuse to go spend some money at my local comic book shop, my LCS. That's right. The local comic book shop, the mom and pop shop that is in your village square or wherever it is near you. That's local business. Instead of getting a digital copy of your new releases, if you can. I mean, some of my friends live in Japan. They're expats or they're in the Philippines. you know, so it's pretty darn difficult. Or they're in the UK, or they're in Saudi Arabia, or they're in somewhere in Canada where it's pretty far away from the local comic book shop. That's pretty darn jaded of me just to think, to presume, just to assume that there's that you have an LCS to patronize, to be their customer. And we're blessed to get our comics any way we can. We are. But for if you have it available, if you do have a local comic book shop, then now is the best time than ever to just, you know, and you can also reach out to comic book shops and they can mail it to you as well. I mean, I shamelessly pimp for Yule Carter. I mean, I've heard a few of the people in the live chat have hooked up with them and have been satisfied with you know, their experience so far. So I'll drop his link in the description for Fantastic Comics. And if you, like, you know, have any back issue needs or anything, yeah, maybe get a hold of Yule on Twitter or on email. And he's a Fantastic Comics of Berkeley, California. I mean, I'll pimp his show. He pimps my show. You know what I mean? This is like, you know, this is how we roll around here. I mean, it's like, this is crowdfunding an LCS, if you think about it. So yeah, you need an LCS? Hit my friend Yule up. He'll hook you up. You'll hook you up. If you're out there, Mr. Carter, write that one down. If you haven't heard that one before in your life. Let's get to it. We're going to be bagging, boxing, and reboxing, reboarding, rebagging my entire collection. Right now, we're doing an incredible run. We're doing about 5 years worth of Wednesdays. Wednesday is the traditional day to get comic books, new releases. This is literally about more than 5 years of Wednesdays well spent with a lifelong friend. We're talking Green Lantern from DC Comics, holder of the power ring of willpower, one of the most powerful weapons in this fictional universe. You know, here's some comic book shop style conversation for us. What would be the one superpower you could have if you had a superpower? You can choose one. I would choose the Green Lantern ring. Seriously, I don't mind being human. I mean, you could take the ring off and go back to being a normal person. Or a typical person. Oh my God, so many people get triggered over the usage of the word normal. Mostly abnormal people. Fussy people, too. So I use the word typical. I can take off the Green Lantern ring and stop being a space cop and go home and be, you know, hang out with my alien girlfriend, you know, and I get to see the stars. And I get to learn different languages, different cultures, different cuisines, different kung fus. You know, it's a big universe. It's a big, wonderful universe. So the answer to my question has pretty much always been, I'd want a Green Lantern ring. If it was Marvel Universe, I'd want to be like the son of Magneto, one of the bastard sons of Magneto, who has basically got all his powers, but you know, he does like more with just like, he's just more of like a kick-ass alpha level stomper. You know what I mean? Just like with a cool suit. We think of these. This is how we think. You know what I mean? How do you exist in the Marvel Universe? Who's your, stand-in character? What is we call that when, you know, just like the writer, you know, inserts themselves into the book. I mean, I'll remember at 5 a.m. or something and be like, oh, it's like, you know, it's the self-insert character. Well, how would you self-insert into the DC universe and as what? You know, me, on my headcanon, I was a Robin to my Batman and I got drafted by the Green Lanterns because I'm such a good detective. Wouldn't that be? I would love to see that. Like, you know, that's my headcanon for a DC comic. You know what I mean? If I could self-insert myself, it'd be as a Robin. And then I graduate. You know, I don't go to be Nightwing. My next identity would be Green Lantern. I think that's cool. You come with this huge skill set. You're already one of the world's, you know, you're going to try to be one of the universe's best detectives. Oh, come on. I like this. And Marvel, I'd be some you know, random mutant bastard son of Eric Leshner and his namesake, because my name is Eric. Get it? I'm a huge X-Men fan. I don't know. How do you exist in your fiction? Let me know if you want to. That's a very personal question. It's because it's like you have to admit to being like, oh, I don't think like that. Well, haven't thought like that in decades. But I used to spend a lot of my headspace as an only child, spending a lot of time on his own. I spent a lot of time hanging out with my non-delusional parasocial friends. The X-Men, the Green Lanterns, the New Mutants, the Justice League, the Teen Titans. The list goes on and on and on. The crew of the Enterprise, the Rebels of Star Wars, the denizens of Moonbase Alpha. Here's to imagination, and here's to you. And I hope you have fun, and I hope you get that escapism, and you're not laden down by the problems of this world, that you're free to fly. So yeah, I go to my local comic book shop. I get supplies too. I need them. Hopefully you do too. I think you might. You check around. Be like, hey, do I need a bag of new bags? Well, you get 100 for $6.99. You know? I know I could get them cheaper on my online supply chain, you know, with the free shipping and the built-in movie network. Or I could go to a big box store, but I don't have a car. I don't shop at big box stores. I'm an urban guy. $14.99 for 100 acid-free one-side coated backing boards. It's $8.99 for a short box. I definitely still have to get one of those drawer type short boxes, you know, just to have one. I never had one before. Yule Carter swears by them, and I'm going to get it just to experience it. And it's a good recommendation from a friend in this comic sphere. So that's great. Loving it. Da 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 da. All right, let's beg. Let's board. Let's get bored. Let's get bored. Hey, let's get bored. Now, where we left off, we were introduced to the first Blue Lantern, Saint Walker. And as it is in Green Lantern Men, I used to have a joke like, that's what they call them in China. What? Green Lantern Men. You know, no, they don't. That's just a joke. But now, like, you know, with the oversensitivity about everything is a slight about people's cultures. And no, it's really not. I mean, and then I said, no, it's like, oh, is it better just to say nothing? I don't know. Sometimes I feel that way. Sometimes I don't. Depends what day. Depends on what you roll that day, huh? We got a 4. What is that? Some kind of Greek letter. Is it a 4 or a Greek letter? I can never tell. See, you can't take me to D&D. It's like, hey, does Sully want to play Dungeons and Dragons? No, I'm not taking him. He's such a distraction. He's like, oh, what's this do? Whoa, why would we do it? Yeah, I'm that guy. Yeah, no. It's Dungeons and Dragons people. And here we are. Look at all the colors. I mean, yeah. But this is Ivan Rice art. And they want to be the ones that execute Sinestro. And this is what Sinestro did to Atrocitus there. And look at this hellscape. I grew up with Renaissance art filled with hellscapes, full of like naked people being hit with pitchforks by demons and in some inferno. You just like, and they were just like, I couldn't take my eyes away from them. Just, Ivan Rice, Eau Claire Albert on inks, May Ruffino on colors, Shane Davis and Sandra Hope did the cover. Oh yeah, Sinestro's having a pretty bad day here. But over on the other side of the quadrant, we have... Oh, wow. We have to check out this art. All will be well. And that is the name... That is the Green Lantern... I mean, the Blue Lantern motto. The Blue Lanterns of Hope. They're using the power of hope. And there's the Blue Lantern. and they can overcharge a Green Lantern's ring up to 200 more percent. It's great. So now we have red, yellow, green, blue, and the Zamorons are about to get into it, crafting rings for their Star Sapphire energy. And then we're not done. We're not done there yet. And but this is great. I will always hope until my dying breath. His name is Saint Walker, and he is the first of the Blue Lanterns. And he was given a Job. Like Job is a biblical, and also a Torah. I think it's Torah, Talmud. I'm not sure. The Book of Job. Where would that fall in Jewish tradition? But it falls in the Old Testament, and in the Christian tradition, Job was challenged by the Lord and his adversary to suffer and to not give up faith, which he didn't do. And so Saint Walker here has a Job-like story, and the Blue Lantern ring comes to him and selects him. You have the ability to instill. Do you have the ability to fill people with hope? And then that's Ganthet, his old friend Ganthet. Now, I wanted to talk a bit about the Guardians of the Universe. The Guardians of the Universe, they're like OP. They're like little blue people, all right. And they're just this council of old. They had the white hair and the blue skin. They were pretty short, about 3 feet tall, as to the who's who. And they had red robes with the white. With a white stripe with the Green Lantern insignia. And they lived at Oa. Oa is the center of the universe. Oa is a planet, and that's where the Green Lantern power battery is. And so there was a planet named Malthus. They're full of people, humanoids named Malthusians. And they evolved into the Guardians. And the Guardians resettled on Oa, the center of the universe. And they wanted to protect the universe with a sense of order. So they created the Manhunters, and that was a failure because they were robots and couldn't empathize. But empathy being a universal trait, I guess, and also its balance, the ability to commit evil, I guess, is it's a living, organic or sentient quality of consciousness that the AI didn't possess, that the Manhunters couldn't get. And the Manhunters took really extreme measures, inhuman measures, or catastrophic measures, and the Manhunters were put down by the Guardians. So they think, and they come back every once in a while. They're the red and the blue robots that they're classic Green Lantern adversaries and antagonists. So they created the Green Lantern Corps through willpower, and you'll have we split the universe into 3,600 different light cones from the central point. We have to describe what a light cone is? No, I mean I'll put that. I'll worry about that later. So there's a representative from each sector. They're each given a ring and the oath and the sworn duty to protect and to live by those Green Lantern morals and ethics too. So if you lived outside of that, such as what Sinestro did, then you get kicked out. And so the Guardians, they really had no personalities until you had Ganthet, and then you had Apsa Ali, and then and then they're like gods. So they're always dying and they're always being reborn. They have this cycle of death and rebirth. So, I mean, when it's time to reset the deck, we kill off the Guardians. We share the power. The power gets ruined somehow because of our oversharing or whatnot, and then it comes back full circle that the Guardians are restored. The battery is restored. Oa is restored. Order is restored in a way too. Hierarchy. And then again, I've seen the Guardians, I think, die about 3 different times so far. But yeah, so the Guardians of the Guardians of the Universe, not the Galaxy. The Guardians of the Galaxy is a different property, Sully. So yeah, we have these, blue lanterns, and their power is hope. And they can make constructs with their rings as well, and here we go. In fearful day and raging night, with strong hearts full our souls ignite. When all seems lost in the war of light, look to the stars, for hope shines bright. All will be well. I like that. Some positivity and all that stuff. They're given kind of like Eastern Zen kind of motifs too, with the whole Eastern wisdom and the whole Ganesha looking guy of the elephant dude. I forget his name, but Zamaron. This is Fatality. Fatality is one of the sole survivors of Zanshi. She's an antagonist of Jon Stewart because of that. She's also lost both of her arms here and there, and she's been a Sinestro, and now she's been infected with a Star Sapphire ring. Because the Star Sapphires now are joining this War of Light. They've crafted a violet power battery. Yep. And the Zamarons are the Guardians. Boom. There's Fatality. Ooh, and this Final Crisis. The fates of the Dark Knight revealed in Final Crisis. Dun dun dun. In hindsight, I love Final Crisis, but it kind of a lame switcheroo-y. You know what I mean? Look at that. See, spirituality in comics, spirituality in action, meditation as a superpower. I love that. I freaking love these Blue Lanterns. Dun dun dun. Look at all this blood. Look at all, I know about your daughter. And now, look, fear. That's fear in Sinestro's eyes. I love it. Come on, these are great stories. Well told. Let's see. Oh, look at, what's this? Mirror's Edge for PlayStation 3. Dungeons and Dragons. All trademarks. Let's see. 2008. And thank you guys for tuning in today. Oh, look. The Spirit. Now, this was a movie that was directed by Frank Miller, was it? Himself, because his stuff was going around like as Robert Rodriguez, Zack Snyder did 300. Robert Rodriguez did Sin City, and Spirit movie, yeah. 2008. Yeah, written and directed by Frank Miller himself. Now, Frank Miller, I just watched RoboCop 2 the other day. Frank Miller wrote that and co-wrote the screenplay and has a small role in it as well as Kane's chemist who designs his drugs, who designs the nuke. Cut it with scopolamine, 20 mils per. Slain cop comes back from the dead. But we've never covered this Will Eisner's The Spirit. I've never gotten into Will Eisner's The Spirit. It wasn't my thing, man. And but this is the War of Light. We got reds versus yellows versus greens. And any second now, the blues are jumping in. Boom, see? All will be well. I love this stuff. This is the War of Light. This is Lyra trying to, like, oh, help me. And then, oh, shit. And then Sinestro. Look at that. Is that an acceptable amount of gore and violence? I think, seriously, for a comic book, this is, is there an age thing? There's no age thing on here, too. This is a Shane Davis cover, by the way. Nice. And then, because these make great action figures. So Jordan has to, Hal Jordan, being our hero, is going to, like, be every ring. So we actually get a really interesting line of action figures that comes out of Green Lantern. Especially, there's Hal. It's Hal's journey leading up to Blackest Night here to experience the Spectrum. See, we're in the rainbow. It's the last day of Pride Month. And shit, I got gay family. I always have. I love them. Gay friends all my life. Shit. I hate obnoxious, unlikable things on any people. So maybe there's, but it's nothing. It's got nothing to do with me. Seriously. Put you away. 36, 37. And Lyra is. She's no more. Oh my goodness. What are we getting into here? Uh-oh. Wait a second. We got the last issue here. Rage of the Red Lanterns. The Red Lantern. You have much rage in your heart. I do. I have much rage in my heart. But that's what, the best Red Lanterns become Blue Lanterns. And there's Green Lantern, the animated series, lasted 2 seasons, about over a decade ago, and had a wonderful new character named Razor, R-A-Z-R, and he was a Red Lantern, and he fell in love with Aya, the Green Lantern, who was literally she was part battery, but she was the AI of Hal Jordan's starship, which was this, like, Green Lantern hot rod that the Guardians of the Universe built, that Hal boosted because he's a pilot, and he's like, woo, I love to fly. And him and Killua go on an adventure, and they meet Razor along the way. And Razor's a Red Lantern, and he becomes part of their team. And he falls in love with Aya. And it's just a really nice story, because at the end of it, we're given this ambiguity that a Blue Lantern ring, for the first time we've seen the show, is following Razor after that. After he lost a lot of things, and it was down for him. But it ends with him on a note of hope. And then fast forward about a dozen years later, in Young Justice, season 3 or 4, we are reunited with Razor from a different show, but he wields both the red and the blue lanterns. So he's got one ring of each, and he's got a hybrid uniform. And it's the coolest design, and it's really cool because it's kind of like the 3D colors of the Anaglyph 3D glasses and stuff. But the Red Lantern's oath. With blood and rage of crimson red, we fill your souls with darkest dread, and twist your minds to pain and hate. We'll burn you all. That is your fate. Sounds kind of like Vogon poetry. Come on, you. What are you up to? Drinka! There we go. That's the... Apparently, it replaces your heart and your blood with a fiery plasma. And you usually, when spit like this plasma fire blood out of your mouths in this, like, vomitous kind of, unsexy kind of manner. But it's about spewing rage. It's 100%. I love this emotional spectrum. It's 110% pure allegory. It really is. And it's how, like, but by the time we get to Blackest Night, it starts to really flesh that out. And it's about having to get over your differences, and how light has to stick together. And light works best when there's a spectrum. and there you can make many colors to make a brighter picture. That's right. Let's see. We're gonna. Oh yeah, we're looking this up. DC Comics. Origin and Omens. Origins and Omens, because that was a Final Crisis lead-in. So we have Final Crisis. Was that Final Crisis? Fandom. Oh wow. Oh, there's like nothing on here. It's a trade dress, and there's nothing really here. I think it says it's Scar, and that's her name. Okay, so the Guardians of the Guardians of the Universe usually don't have an identity, don't have a name. But later later we get into the story, the big story. They don't possess an individuality. They're just the Guardians, and they have a groupthink, and they're just they seem to have different traits and voices, yet they don't have an individual name. It's like until Ganthet and Appa Ali, and then comes Ganthet and Sade, who make the Blue Lanterns, but then comes Scar, the scarred identifying as the female identifying new Guardian. These are the Guardians that were rebirthed when Kyle Rayner let loose, the hidden battery from within. He carried inside of the ring the souls and spirits of the Guardians, and when they were reborn, he kind of played with it. He was like, no, he saw them as little babies, as little boys and little girls, and Ganthet, got to be their grandpa, and then they grew up. They suffered from the soap opera rapid aging syndrome. If you watch soap operas, you know what I'm talking about. And so that's Scar. Scar was the one who got deformed in the fight against Superboy Prime in the Sinestro Corps War, and that's when this babyface made a heel turn, and she's now in contact with the Black Lantern, and ultimately who we'll find out is Necron, this death being of the puppet master of the dead, the alpha or omega of the Black Lanterns. He who took the Anti-Monitor and made its suit and its energy into the Black Lantern itself, the giant Black Lantern power battery. So Origins and Omens. This is the lead-in. So we're finishing up Rage of the Red Lanterns. This is fun, because now we're starting to get into Technicolor stuff. We got Hal Jordan has now been possessed by a Red Lantern ring. It's hard to get one of those off without killing you, all right? And then his Green Lantern ring kicks in. St. Walker, is trying to save him, but he puts on his Blue Lantern ring. Rage, hope, Yellow, my one weakness, and he's looking at Cowgirl, his blonde girlfriend. Isn't that cute? I like that. This is such a good story. I had such fun. And now. And basically, he's wearing 3 rings right now. You see 3 qualities of 3 rings on Hal's outfit right now. You get the blue collar, the green, and the red. And between his willpower and his hope, he's able to get rid of the red power ring and live. And then, out of nowhere, come the Zamorons. And they've come to take Carol back into the core. Their core. And the Omens and... and this is the backup. So Origins and Omens starts in the back here. And the Blackest Night is approaching. This is one of the first big advertisements we see for it since the end of Sinestro Corps War, almost a year ago. Well, in terms of, publishing. The Book of the Black, and Scar is writing it. And it's coming out of her eyes like the eye goo in the X-Files. If that sounds like ancient history, it should be. There's John Stewart. Remember, lethal force has been engaged. And fatality has been nothing but a bothersome killer for her. And here comes... Yep, you've guessed it. The Star Sapphires. Their ring. Yep. Come on. Drink get onto that. We have an oath to read. For hearts long lost and full of fright, for those alone in blackest night, accept our ring and join our fight. Love conquers all with violet light. Ain't that cute? And they're all hot chicks too. I mean, I wonder what the the mind can only wonder what the modern representation of the Zamoron, of the Star Sapphires would be today. And then these are the lead ups. All of this is leading up to the Blackest Night. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. We've been doing Green Lantern comic books. I've got 5 years of awesome Wednesdays. I look forward to these every month. Heck, twice a month for a while too, if you include the occasional issues of Green Lantern Corps. And then come the one-shot tie-ins. Yeah, see, and this is the first one we get. The first trade dress up top, Prelude to Blackest Night. And that is the Black Lantern logo, which was the Hand Mortuaries logo as well, which is some kind of... These are just... All of these icons are so well designed. We're going to get into that too. There's Mongol Jr., to be sure. But, and the Tomasi Gleason goodness. All right, we'll get into more of this later. And you have a wonderful day. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for being part of the live chat and also part of the comment section. We appreciate that. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Think about subscribing if you're tuning into the first time. It's a great channel. We got something for everyone. And tune in 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. Thank you so very much. I don't mean to go on this long sometimes, but sometimes I ramble, don't I? Thank you for sticking along this long. And we will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. You take care, okay? Cheers. Bye-bye.